Welcome, my dear student, in a digital learning class of mathematics. So today I am going to tell you a very interesting and new topic, that is chapter number 5, Introduction to Euclid Geometry. So first I want to tell you what do you mean by geometry. Here the meaning of geometry is, geometry word is made up of two words, geo and metrin. So the word geometry came from the Greek words geo meaning earth and metrin to measure. So somewhere it is useful for the measurement of earth. So geometry appears to have an originated from the need of measurement of land. For land measurement we generally need the word geometry. So first two person who started this approach, first is Thales, the Greek mathematician, and Euclid. After that they both try to sort out this geometry problem, and they find many solutions. Some of them which are given by Euclid, that I am going to share with you. So Euclid decided that he described that a point is that which has no part, that means no length, width and height, it is just a point, no part. Second, a line is breadth less length, that means it is having only length, there is no thickness and breadth. So the end points of a line are points. Wherever we are completing a line, that is, if we are talking about end points, so end point is a simple points. And a straight line is a line which lies evenly with the points of on it. So we can say so many points are joining together, they are making a straight line. So what does mean a surface? Surface has length and width only, there is no height in surface, like we have a plain paper, or we can say floor. In these cases we have only length and width. Next we have edge. Edge of a surface line, surface or line, as you all know, edge point. So edges are always a line. Now what does mean a plane surface? Plane surface is a surface which lies evenly with straight line of itself. These are some conclusions that are made by Euclid, and what we are going to deal in a chapter, that I want to tell you here. So first thing, Euclid defined point, line, plane and definition are not accepted by mathematician. This was the first case. Then therefore these terms are now taken undefined by Euclid. Even you have studied all these points in geometry later. So axiom or postulate assumptions which are obvious universal truth, they are not proved. That means whatever Euclid did, he is not able to prove the things mathematically. Some points he proved and some are left. So theorem are statements. What are the theorems? Theorems are statements which are proved using definition, axiom and previously proved statement and deducting reasoning. This is the way of theorem. So once again I want to tell you here, most of the students they are confused. Axiom means they are postulate or assumptions which are truth and they are not proved. When once it is proved, then it becomes theorem. Theorems are the statement which are proved and using axioms. You can see here the previously proved statement and deductive reasoning. So first I am going to tell you some of the Euclid axiom were, that means these are his assumption and that are true but not proved. First, things which are equal to the same thing are equal to another. Next, if equal is added to equal, whole are equal. If that means 2 is equals to 3 is written, 3 is equals to 3 is written, and you are adding both sides 2, so it becomes 5 is equals to 5. This is the case when if you are adding equal to both sides, you will get whole part equal. So if equal are subtracted, same thing is this. If you are subtracting both sides same thing, then the answer left hand and right hand side remain similar. Things are considered in one another is equal to another. Things which coincide, that means matching to each other, are equal to one another. The whole is greater than a part. This is very easy. Consider you have a chalk, full chalk, and you are breaking it into pieces. So pieces are always smaller than the full chalk. So this is the way we can say the whole. Whole means full thing is always greater than a single part. Things which are double of the same thing is equal to the another. This is also interesting statement given by him. And things which are half of the same, they are equal to another. That means if we have a single pencil you are dividing that pencil into two equal parts. The part you have prepared by cutting is equal. So these are some common lines. You can use these in day-to-day life also. So let's say these are axiom. That means that are the assumptions by Euclid. So how he proved that? So now see, these are the postulate or theorem that is proved by Euclid. First, a straight line may be drawn from any point to any other point. That means if 2 points you have, you can draw a straight line between these 2 points. Second, a terminated line can be produced indefinitely. That means if a terminating line means both arrow is not there, the terminating lines have always fixed length. If it is fixed length, so we cannot proceed it forward. A circle can be drawn with any center and any radius. So circle you can draw with any radius and any center. All the right angles are equal to one another. Right angle, maybe it is in a square, it may be in a rectangle, or it may be in a triangle. Rectangles, right angles are same in and they are equal to one another. Next is fifth postulate. If a straight line falling on a two straight line make interior angles are same side, and it will get less than two angles, then the two straight line, if produced infinitely, meet on one another, the sum of the angle is less than two right angles. So these are some, already you have studied this point. When two lines are crossing each other, there is some interior and exterior angles are there. Next is sixth point, two equivalent version of equivalent fifth. Euclid fifth postulate are: for every line L, or for every point P not lying on L, there exists a unique line M passing through P parallel to L. If you are drawing any line, so there must be any point P which is parallel to L, and two distinct intersecting line cannot parallel to same line. If two lines are intersecting any line, so they are never parallel to each other. And last, all the attempts prove that Euclid fifth postulate using the fourth postulate failed, but they led discovery of several geometrical concepts called non-Euclidean geometry. So these are some common postulates that we are going to study in this chapter. So overall, what we are going to study in chapter, here we are going to study with the angle, line, ray that you have already studied. Then how to use the geometrical part in day-to-day life. This is all about this chapter. Thank you so much.